Hello guys, this is Doronsmovies and you're watching another episode of the lore Q&A. So today it will be the 19th episode and I'll be answering some of the questions you guys left in the previous video. And if you would like to get your questions answered, it's pretty much the same as it was before. Just either put them on the Q&A lore videos, and it is best you put them on the newest ones because those are the ones I usually check. And also you can put your questions either by YouTube personal messages or Facebook and Twitter, as you have links in the description for that below. Also, just before I start the Q&A, I wanted to ask you guys for some feedback because I was thinking about getting a new schedule and starting a new game, DayZ, on the channel on top of the current schedule in order to keep the things, a bit fresh and kind of widen the channel up a bit. So my idea was to actually keep the current content going, like the World of Warcraft lore lessons and the Q&As, but just adding some DayZ content on top of that as well, so that the World of Warcraft videos wouldn't slow down, but I would just add some more videos to the channel. So any feedback on that is quite appreciated. Okay, anyways, let's start. Buddy Ace asks, now that Vol'jin is the war chief, don't you think the trolls in the Tauren will have more attention? Bane was a huge help in the siege of Orgrimmar, so don't you think he will get more events about him and the Tauren? I personally would love to see Bane and Tauren more often. Alright, so I don't think they will get more attention, as in they will be privileged and that the orcs will get punished for the things they've done, but I see Vol'jin more as a democratic leader, so all of the factions will get equal attention and they won't be a separate different kin but they will be seen as the citizens of the Horde, so all the races will be kind of mixed up. So I'm expecting to see trolls, Tauren, orcs, undead, blood elves, and the Pandoran completely mixed up, so they will be seen as the citizens of the Horde. Alright, next. Matthew asks, in the novel Tides of War, when Terramore is bombed, Ronan is described as Ronan's body, standing tall, arms outstretched as he glared defiantly at his fate, turned suddenly purple, and he was frozen in time for a fraction of a heartbeat. Then he exploded in a cloud of lavender ash. I would personally like to believe that he was sent to another time or dimension rather than being turned to dust. Do you think he is truly dead, or will Blizzard resurrect him in the future? Alright, so I can't give a fully clear answer on this one because I still kind of haven't read the book. I mean, I bought it though, but I'm kind of reading something else at the moment and I will try to get to it pretty soon, in a few weeks. But what my opinion on that is that he actually got killed. I think the reason because he stopped for a second and then blew up is because of the arcane magic that he uses and the fact that he was actually a really powerful mage. As far as I know, humans and the wielders of the magic that isn't dark, evil, demonic, don't actually come back, so I don't really see Ronan's return. But I mean, he was well known in the books, but they haven't really expanded him that much in the game, so I feel they just wanted to get rid of him in order to introduce someone new. But I mean, that's just from my point of view, so everything is kind of possible at the moment. Okay, next, Devin asks, why does Alliance have so little lore? My guess is that Blizzard hates Alliance and only created the Alliance to be a punching bag. The Alliance races really need more lore. The Horde isn't the only ones who do cool stuff. What are your thoughts? Yeah, that is kind of completely untrue. I mean, when you go back in history, when they created Warcraft 1, the Alliance were the noble human kingdom, while they pretty much used the Horde as just another villain like orcs, goblins, and pretty much just evil that was a threat to the human kingdom. And they did change the evil and good thing around Warcraft 3 to World of Warcraft, so we could actually see the Horde and that they aren't actually evil as we saw them before, and that they have a heart as well. But I mean, the Alliance still is keeping the more kind of the noble role between the factions. And also, if you read the books and everything that comes with the WoW lore, like the comics and the short stories, you will actually realize that the Alliance has a lot of lore, if not even more than the Horde. Although, I mean, you might feel now that they don't, because the past expansion and the new expansion are more Horde related, and while the Alliance is kind of just being kept alive in order to keep the players following it, the players that play the Alliance. But I'm guessing that is going to change and even in Worlds of Draenor. I mean, Alliance will still have a decent role in the Worlds of Draenor, although more going towards the Draenei, as I mean the Draenei played a really big role in the entire Horde creation thing on Draenor. So yeah, I mean, apart from the gnomes and even the dwarves to some extent, the Alliance actually has a bunch of well-developed lore, and even more lore to come. Alright, continuing on. GBTO asks, I was wondering, what do you think happened to the heart of Yashraj after the siege of Orgrimmar? Well, I mean, just before the siege, as we could see in the cinematic, Garrosh picked it up and drained its energy in order to empower himself and some of his warriors. So my guess right now would be that it is gone or just completely drained out. But I mean, then again, like, something could be still going on with that, but I don't really think we will see the heart of Yashraj anytime soon. Okay, next. Olven Mage asks, I know the undead are hurt by the light when they attempt to use it or get healed by it, but what about healing of monks, druids or shamans? Well, in game, like, they can be healed by all classes, but the undead are completely different from any race in the game though, so I don't really see how the undeads could possibly be druids or shamans, even monks to some extent, even though I think they implemented that in the game. But pretty much the shamans use the power of the elements, and the druids talk to the mother nature, and I don't really see undeads, I mean, doing anything of that sort. I always see them kind of more as the grumpy type, like that they use poisons, plague, and they're pretty dark as well, so it wouldn't really make sense for them to be any of those classes in my opinion. Alright, next. Herminator H asks, you said that the Night Elves are the oldest, but aren't the Blood Elves the same age, and didn't the Night Elves lose their immortality when they killed Archimonde? Well, from what I know, the Blood Elves are actually Night Elves. Well, they descend from the Night Elves, more Highborn more specifically, and they did split from the Night Elf faction long ago, and they sailed to the Eastern Kingdom, where they had abandoned the beliefs of the Night Elves and they abandoned the Loon, and they actually started worshipping the light. So I would say some of the original Blood Elves that split from them ages ago were as old as the Night Elves, but the new Blood Elves aren't as old as the original Night Elf faction, because the original Night Elf faction had a lot more members. Also, the Night Elves did actually lose their immortality when they killed Archimonde, because they used the power of the world tree to destroy him, thus sacrificing their immortality. So that is why the Blood Elves are actually aging today, and if you read some of the Warcraft books, you can see how they said, for example, like Tyrande or any of the other Night Elves, they said how they can feel like they're getting older. And so yeah, that is, you can see that they actually are getting older and are not immortal anymore. Alright, and the last question is by J Super, and he asks, why can't Gul'dan return, since he definitely absorbed a lot more demonic energy than Illidan, and his own skull is the reason why Illidan is even half demon? Alright, so I'm not really certain on this answer, but I will give it a shot. So, well, from what I believe, I mean, Gul'dan did wield immense dark power, but I don't actually think he used it on himself, like in order to turn into a demon. I mean, if you see Illidan, like, he could actually transform into a powerful demon, while I don't think Gul'dan could actually do that, even though Gul'dan was extremely powerful. So I think he was actually still Orc when he died, although I think he would have turned into a demon if he actually managed to find the Eye of Sargeras and not get completely torn up in the Tomb of Sargeras back during the Second War. So that is pretty much my opinion on this, and I don't really see him coming back from the Twisting Nether or in any other way possible. Alright, that is all I have for now. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave your questions either by YouTube personal messages, Q&A comment section or Facebook and Twitter. And don't forget to like, favorite and subscribe. Again, thanks for watching and see you next time.